Deep within a bleak and dismal era, hidden within the murky internet, lies the headquarters of the most sinister geeks of all time, a Legion on Zoom.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Season 2 of the Legion on Zoom. God, that felt good to say. What's up?
And, whoa, but you're not saying your name this time? Well,
I mean, to be honest, I got so caught up in the initial what's going on, everybody, which, like, it kind of gave me goosebumps, but yeah, you know what? I messed up. Guys, Season 2, this is still Ches.
You didn't mess up, bro. Exactly. No, it's like people should know our names by now, but
That's also true.
It's always good. We're getting new people on board. So hello, everybody. I'm Miguel, and I'm also very fucking happy to the Season 2, guys. Fuck yes.
Yep, we're back. I'm Rod.
Oh, and also, one thing we should address, which Rod brought up at the end of last season, no one died. So we just want to start off with
spoiler alert.
Shit. Like, let them get into it.
Someone could have died.
Yeah, but like no one did, and whoever jumps in at the beginning of Season 2 is like, nah, like you have to appreciate. Go back to the beginning.
Because you don't know, maybe one of us might have died but came back, dude. You don't know what kind of adventure we had during the break.
Bro, didn't that happen to Zoom? Like, it happened to Zoom both on the CW verse. Like, wasn't he running from the Black Flash, like Death in Legions of Tomorrow, and then in Suicide Squad, Hell to Pay, he's like running from the moment where he got shot by Thomas Wayne, but he's dead.
Yeah,
anyway,
that blew.
I'm sorry, people.
That blew my mind at the end of that movie that he was like perpetually caught in the moment right before he died. I was like, oh, I remember that. Goosebumps.
A trip. But that could have been one of us, because I do think for the people out there, for the fans that are returning, we actually did take, a few weeks off. Obviously we still pretty much talk almost every day, I think, right?
Yeah, basically.
On average, we pretty much message each other constantly, but we didn't really, like we took a break, we didn't record. This is the first time we're recording. You guys saw each other, no? Like during the break, right?
Yeah, Wonder Woman 84.
Yep.
Which we're going to talk about.
We definitely will discuss.
We're going to do a deep dive.
And once again, as per our usual preferred, I want to say tool of measurement, if you're wondering how deep we're going to go, the answer is balls.
Mm-hmm. Always
balls deep. Okay. So now, there's some crazy stuff going on. I mean, the news has been a little bit on the slow side, but the stuff that's out there is actually very, very shocking outside of, democracy falling apart.
Word. I'm about to say the news has been slow, I guess, for comic books and
yeah,
stuff,
exactly.
But otherwise, it's at an all-time high.
But I mean, the news that really matters is comic book news.
You're right.
Because I will say, for a minute there, we were like living in that, Dark Knight Rises Bane scene, no? Like that was like, is that what was happening? Yo, where's Batman? What's going on?
Yo, word.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. But yeah, so aside from, like the end of freedom, there is some crazy stuff going on. It's like the good stuff at HBO Max doesn't stop. At this point, I'm almost skeptical of how much good stuff coming. Now we got Static Shock, and that's a live action one, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, actually, I don't know anything about this news. What's going on? I thought they're making the movie,
okay.
No? They're making a Static Shock movie, right?
So the news right now is that HBO, I think we actually spoke about this, that HBO Max is going to release specific exclusive features just for the platform.
We actually haven't talked about that yet here on the show. We haven't.
Yeah, I mean, like off air, but
Simon.
Yeah, so DC's planning to have its theatrical releases, the big movies, right? Aquaman 2, whatever, and then have smaller features on the app. So, and one of those happens to be Static Shock, and we heard about this back in Fandom. We heard about this announcement.
I mean, have there been any news about the castings, or do we know who's going to play? I mean, obviously Jaden Smith, but
Yeah, nothing so far. Just that wasn't like Michael B. Jordan involved or something. He's involved with everything.
Yeah, I think he's involved as a producer or something. No, like he's
yeah.
I hope they give him a role or something. That'd be great.
Shout out to Michael B. Jordan. I was rewatching. I'm gonna go into this in more detail maybe next episode, but I'm rewatching the DC animated feature universe, And I didn't remember that he did the voice for Cyborg in Paradox.
Oh wow!
Shut up.
I for some
Yeah.
reason didn't even know that.
Yeah, I'm hearing the voice. I'm like, yo, it sounds familiar. And
And it's
it's the guy.
and it's
Yo, that
Killmonger double dipping.
I know, dude. That's dope, man. I had no idea that was fucking him doing the voice. That's great. I do think I want to mention also, like, that's actually big news. I think that can start and then set up for the rest of the news is like that thing, right? That HBO Max and like Warner Brothers said for the DCU, right? What you were saying, Rod, that apparently like for every fucking movie that they're gonna do, everything is gonna have a spin-off something on HBO Max. Either a series, either a movie, either something like that. And it's like, that's kind of crazy to think like, wait, what? You're going to milk everything? But I guess it's like they're doing what Disney's doing, right?
Yeah, I was about to say like,
yeah.
wait, that sounds familiar. So HBO Max is basically DC Plus.
Oh.
I'm
Yeah,
down with
pretty
that.
much. The subsection that they have for DC stuff is better. I don't know if I already said this, but it's better than the whole app that was exclusively DC Comics that costed like $100 a fucking year. Some bullshit. Whereas HBO Max is free for like, AT&T subscribers or $8, right?
I just like to wonder at times, like, what happens at these meetings at Warner Brothers? It's like, let's make an app, then the app fails, then they go and sign deals with HBO, which is it owned by Warner Brothers? HBO, I think, or something like that, or
yes, I think so. Yeah, I think it's all part of that same umbrella family.
It's all like one swirl. It's like, hey, let's put these things in the app. The app gets designed. They release comics, shows, all that stuff on it. Then it's like, no, let's put it on HBO Max. Cancel the app. What the fuck is going on over there? Like, why are there 5 HBOs? Like, what's going on at Warner Brothers? I need to know. They need a little bit more like organization, because at Disney is like, here's Disney, here's Marvel, here's the app. It's all there. Boom.
I think it happened. I don't remember correctly, but I think what ended up happening is that they were already planning on the DC Universe app from before, and they were well ahead on that. They did it, but the thing is, they were negotiating this big ass merger between AT&T and like I think Warner Brothers. I don't know what companies, and like once they then merged and basically AT&T I think is the one that owns all of it or something crazy like that, then at that point they were like, oh well, fuck that app, like we got HBO. Like HBO has more prestige, well known, let's just go with that. And it was glitchy already as it was the other app,
right? And they would have never released Wonder Woman 84 on the app. Like the film, I was surprised. I was surprised at how skimpy. Like they had like Batman Begins for a week. Like watch it quick before it goes away and shit. Like, I'm like, oh my god, this is a goddamn DC app. Give me all the DC shit, all of it.
Yeah, no.
You see what I mean? Yeah, like it's weird.
I want a
like,
web. I'm sorry. I want like I want like a camera. It's like Jeff Johns' house where I get to switch like bathroom, kitchen, just see how he lives his life. That should be a feature on the app.
I'm surprised you don't want that for Snyder.
Yeah, but he's not really DC. He's more of a rebel.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Yo, and speaking of Jeff Johns, though, you mean you want a camera on his house? You mean in the bunker that he's living in right now, right?
Yeah, I want to know what he's plotting down there. Shout out to Jeff Johns.
I'm gonna withhold my shout out for now until everything's with Ray Fisher's settled, because like that's been other news has popped out too, right?
Oh yeah, like what happened with that? He got written out. What the hell?
Apparently he's making too much of a stink, and like Warner Bros. Like, you know what, guy, we get it, social justice, yay, go away, man. I mean, I really wanted to see his movie that was supposed to come out in 2022 or 23 or some wild shit, which at the time when they announced it was like a long ways away, and like we're already in fucking 2021. But yeah, and apparently this also means that he won't appear in Flashpoint. I'm sorry, the Flash movie, Flashpoint. I don't know, man. Whatever. Get Michael B. Jordan. This is a great opportunity. And to get Michael B. Jordan and
put him in everything.
Just add him to everything.
He hasn't been a DC character yet, live action, right? No. Marvel.
Let me see. I don't.
No, just Marvel, right?
No.
Right. No, and actually, I saw I think just today or yesterday, quick post that I didn't read. Apparently the whole thing with Ray Fisher not being in the Flash movie anymore is like not true, and that he will be. So it's like, what the fuck's going on? I don't know. But the only thing is, like, come on, like we stand with Ray Fisher, like, so if people fucking just don't be fucking racist and treat people well, and I like Ray Fisher fucking calling shit out, because the thing that was like in his, I guess, like a slap in his face, I guess the Warner Brothers did, right, was like one of the big things he was saying after the investigation ended. We don't know what's going to happen yet after the investigation wrapped up, but he still kept going against, Jeff Johns and against this guy Hamada, right? Which he's like I guess like almost their Kevin Feige or something. And apparently like Warner Brothers like straight up just like renewed his contract and then gave him more stuff after that. And so then, which made Ray Fisher give even more shit. So who knows if it's like Hamada just attacking, Ray Fisher and trying to get him out of deals and stuff. We don't know what's happening. I want to see the results of the investigation, right? Like that's the stuff. Like let's see some evidence of people being fucking racists and dicks.
I mean, do we still stand with Ray Fisher? He's getting written out of shit. I don't know, man. Like I feel like being unfair with a friend. Like, nah, you good, bro.
I'm on the fence.
And the Legion's true colors shine.
Nah. The 2/3 of the Legion. Yo, fuck you guys.
Although
I'm with Ray Fisher, man.
Although he did post. No, wait. I said I'm on the fence. He did post on Halloween like a picture of him in his cyborg Halloween, like a Walmart Halloween costume type deal. But I thought it was kind of cute. With his son, by the way. That's why I'm saying cute. Not that Ray Fisher
That's okay, man. It's all right.
Not that Ray Fisher isn't cute. I'm just saying.
Well, to be honest, okay, so if we're going to discuss Ray Fisher being cute, let's delve into this real quick because it just piqued my interest a little bit. All right, so on the spectrum of attractiveness, right? Let's say you get like a ruggedly handsomeness, right? You got your Tom Hardys, you got your Jason Momoas, you know what I mean? Then on the opposite side of that spectrum, you got like, like your cheruby looking men, like super cute but still super attractive.
I would say that looking men,
like a cherub, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
So and Ray Fisher, he's like on that side of the spectrum. I wouldn't put him on like like the rugged, you know what I mean? So I would say he's cute.
I would put him more in the middle. I think he's more than just cute though. I think he's a handsome man. I do think he's a good looking man. A little bit more than cute, but he's not exactly. He's not like rugged, fucking handsome. He's no Henry Cavill or fucking Jason Momoa, which is even both of them are a little bit different, no? And like, cause Henry Cavill's more like traditional, good looking.
Yeah, he's rugged.
And by the way,
rugged. Yeah.
And by the way, like also for perspective, since someone's bound to call us out in today's age that we named all a bunch of white guys on the rugged handsome men, I would put Michael B. Jordan on the rugged end.
Yeah, Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa's not.
Yeah,
what is he?
What I mean, isn't he? He's Polynesian.
Polynesian, right?
No,
yeah.
He's Hawaiian, right?
Yeah, I think it's Polynesian. Yeah, it's the whole. Yeah.
He's a water bender. He's like a water.
Yes.
He's of that culture. They're very in tune with the ocean and whatnot. No, I'm not being racist.
We should have a segment though, definitely later on about ranking the attractiveness of some of these men.
Nothing makes you sound more racist than saying no.
I'm not racist.
Yeah, like everything before wasn't that bad until you say that. Then it's like now I'm worried. I'm like, shit, I probably was racist.
Hashtag uncancel chess 2021. And I've also heard like some whispers of some Batgirl stuff also going on in HBO Max. These people know no bounds.
Yep, and for the deep cut fans, this may be like the residual of the project that our hero of last season, Joss Whedon, he was working right after Justice League. He was announced to have been working on a Batgirl movie, and I was hyped about it. Like I thought that was a great pairing, given like his past with Buffy and whatnot. I mean, I was down for it.
Yeah, word.
So I'm guessing like whatever the leftovers of that project are just going to get carried over into, this new HBO Max. I doubt he's going to be attached to this one.
Oh, wow. But damn, if only he needs to be attached to that, because I hope it doesn't go the way of the Batwoman show. And by that, I mean a bit of a train wreck on the low.
Right, right. But I don't know if Whedon would prevent that from happening. You know, I appreciate Whedon's work for sure, but not everything's been gold, right, that he's made. But I do feel I obviously trust Whedon more than Snyder, like because you guys like love Snyder. But I'd be excited.
Low blow. Like,
Oh.
of all people to choose. Both of you guys so far have name dropped for the record, have name dropped Zack Snyder before me.
Good point. Hashtag lawyered. Good point.
That means that's my plan for season 1 worked. That's just a phase 1.
Rod has us on some like Pavlovian response mechanism with Snyder.
Immediately be like, huh? Anyway, yes, but a Batgirl show would be dope. And exactly, I do hope they go full fucking HBO quality type of show. Because yeah, Batwoman, I don't know. We gave it. I'm actually a little bit excited about checking it out with the new actress with Javisha something. I forgot her. Leslie, right?
Leslie, yeah.
Yeah, I got they've shown a lot of now more promo art of her in the suit. She looks pretty badass.
True.
I just hope like because it wasn't in like, Ruby Rose was a pretty cool fucking Batwoman, you know. I believe that she was fucking, you know, Kate Kane, but like just the storytelling was just like not with it.
Like it just wasn't flowing right. It just wasn't flowing right. And let's be honest, we need more successful female superhero shows. You know, like you have your Stargirl, you had like the Vixen animated series on the CW, what's it called, Seed or something like that. Yeah, like they just need more. They had Supergirl, but that got canceled if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
like,
man, I'm tied with that. Actually, I love the Supergirl show. I thought it was great. Like, why did they cancel it? And also, and then I feel it's like even more like, is this like, well, because they're making a Superman show. It's like, oh, now you have a Superman show. You can't have both. Like, come on now.
Yeah, and on top of that, they also passed on what was the Green Arrow spinoff, Green Arrow and the Canaries or some shit like that.
I think something about the Canaries.
Yeah, so an all-female group, which deep cut, that would have been based on what, Birds of Prey from back in the day? Something like that, I'm assuming.
I guess they're going for that flavor. Yeah, like the movie. And just quick to point out, the Batgirl I think is gonna be a film, along with Static Shock. So these are two like HBO Max feature film exclusives. I mean, this is the strong rumors going around right now. Oh no, I think what was that guy's name? Hamada. I think he even said that. I think he said it himself.
Yeah, right. Because he was the one that said that they're gonna do a spinoff basically for every fucking property that they have to go on HBO Max, the same way as Disney is doing with Marvel. And he's also made the comment, I think that we should discuss, I'm mentioning it again, that he called the Snyder cut, Snyder's Justice League movie, a cul-de-sac, right? In terms of even before it coming out, he's already saying it's a fucking dead end, no? The
fuck is that, Latin? What the fuck is a cul-de-sac?
I think it's French. I
mean, like, wait, are you asking like for the right sciences or like etymology of the word, or do you not know what a cul-de-sac is?
No, I know what it is. I just don't know what language it's from. But I'm saying like, yeah, I mean, he just could have called it a one and done. But that's so far, right? You know, because the fans are powerful. We are leading, we're vocal. Let's see what goes down like once that thing is released.
Yeah, because it's like, why are you calling it a dead end, right? Like you're saying it's a fucking cul-de-sac from like, first of all, you were never going to show the Snyder version of the movie, right? But you went, you know, we're gonna see it, right? It's like chill, man. Like just let the fans get excited. Let's watch it. Like, and then because it'll obviously be good for business that if it ends up being a good movie to then create, especially if they're doing this whole multiverse, right? And with the DC movies, like that leaves room for Snyder to start doing other movies within his realm. Like, but motherfuckers like, nah, fuck this shit. See, Ray Fisher was right. I stand with Ray Fisher.
Yeah, I wonder like what universe within the multiverse they'll do Batgirl in, because she's James Gordon's daughter, and like will we have a new James Gordon as well, like, or will they play off of, let's say, it probably won't play off of Robert Pattinson's The Batman. There's like we could safely assume that much. they're getting a Gotham PD show for that movie.
You
I don't
kind
know,
of bring
maybe
up a good point because, like, hopefully DC doesn't get a little bit overzealous with the whole, like, it's a multiverse. Like, hopefully they don't get too
no,
comfortable
get
with using
zealous.
realism.
No, get
No, no,
over.
no, 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 no.
I
Like,
want as
some
many
continuity,
universes.
because then no one's ever going to meet anybody unless the only person they could continue to use the multiverse crossover excuse is like the Anti-Monitor or some shit like that. Especially at the scale of production with HBO Max.
My you guys are not gonna like this comment, but fuck it. Happy New Year. It's like, all right, I agree. I want continuity as well, but I want good standalone movies. And so for me, I think the continuity is, I feel, a privilege. You know, it's an honor to have continuity. You know, it's an honor to be able to build a franchise. You know, a franchise is built on good movies. And let's be honest, DC's movie have not been up. Like, I'd be honest if I'd be happy if they fucking destroy all the DC movies and build no continuity and reboot it and start from something fresh, or start making little universes. Because come on, like, no movie, at least from my point of view, is worthy of a full franchise of continuity. And actually, we'll talk about that with the next Wonder Woman movie when we discuss in a second. But yeah, man, nah. You gotta earn a continuity.
Then listen, man. Listen. If we're gonna go to extremes, then give me a DC death metal trilogy directed by Michael Bay.
Damn, that's fucking awesome.
That's not a bad idea.
Like
With Nick Cage as the Monitor. Ooh.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? Like if we're gonna go balls to the wall, let's just like
wait. Nick Cage as the Monitor or Nick Cage as the Batman who laughs?
Both. I want Nick Cage as the Anti-Monitor. I want Nick Cage as the Monitor, and I want Nick Cage as the Batman who laughs.
I got Willem Dafoe as the Batman who laughs. I just want him in a Joker-esque fucking role.
Dude, Dafoe as the Batman who laughs? Oh my god.
And for the fans who don't know, the Batman who laughs is like some dark universe twisted Batman that killed the Joker and was poisoned by some type of kill switch gas that the Joker keeps in his system for that moment so that he can continue his legacy of, you know, being this concept or idea. They're kind of like, you know, and I mentioned this last season, kind of like what the Fight Club 2 comic book tried to do and make Tyler Durden like a thing that lives on or some bullshit. Anyway.
Oh, shit.
That's crazy.
I don't know which episode that was, probably early on in the season.
And to try to paint a picture with words, he essentially looks like if you grab the Joker, stuff him inside of the Hellraiser suit, and then put a Batman cowl on him.
Yeah.
Sans the cape.
Imagine Batman into hardcore S&M.
S&M.
Like, and I mean hardcore.
Word, exactly.
You know what's funny? I was gonna say that, and then it clicked in my head that the suit really looks like the Hellraiser costume.
Yeah,
like from like the neck down, it's like really, really alike. But also S&M Dungeon Master with a bat fetish,
and like in some kinkier shit too. Like he's into snuff films and shit like that. Like
damn,
fucked up shit,
bro. Doesn't he carry like 3 young boys on chains?
You know what? No.
Yeah.
Nah,
bro. How much more hardcore can you be, yo?
That's too much, man. So all right, but I'm glad that you picture Willem Dafoe exactly in that.
Yeah, that works for me.
You got that vibe.
3 deranged younger Tom Hollands on chains.
Put a lot of thought into this.
I have.
I'm down for that. I do think I want to mention right now, take advantage to tell people who are listening to us right now, if you're listening to us right now, welcome back, right, and all that. But like, we're gonna have a very new thing for season 2. We're gonna have the YouTube videos of us talking of what you're listening to right now. If you're listening to us on Spotify, fucking Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, whatever, straight from Captivate, we're gonna have videos as well. And if you go check us out on YouTube, and then you'll get to meet my cat, which was just fucking just walking all over me right now, but luckily didn't move a mic or anything like that. But like, you listening right now, you missed that.
Yeah. So that's actually a good hook right there. So for all you cat people, if you want to see a cat, go to our YouTube channel and watch the new eps. And while we're at it, we're gonna call the people at Spotify, because if Joe Rogan can get video on Spotify, I don't see why we can't get video on Spotify.
Bro, that shit is annoying. Like, can you turn that off? Because like the video on the Joe Rogan podcast, does it have to play?
Yes, and you should watch it.
Because like it slows down the audio sometimes, right? Like if you're just on your lock screen hitting play and pause, and you know who the fuck
bro,
cares about seeing anyway.
Nah, bro, you need a better phone. What are you talking about? Like, for me, it doesn't. For me, I just lock. I don't have to see the video. I just lock it and
yeah,
it keeps playing. Like, I
No,
don't care.
it does. I'm just saying that it auto plays. Anyway, that's
Rod has a Nokia.
fucking tech support. Spotify, you know, let me know. Text and tech support.
Rod has a Nokia with a singular plan and rollover minutes.
Exactly.
With plastique inside.
Damn.
Just in case somebody wants to fuck with me.
That's your form of self-defense, plastique.
Bro. What better
Jesus
form of
Christ.
self-defense than highly explosive portable items?
Fair enough. Words to live by. And much to Rod's dismay, some actual sad news. I mean, I'm kind of sad about it too, but I wasn't as big of a fan of the show as Rod was. I mean, I don't know how you felt about it, Miguel, but we're losing the ever faithful, ever brave, ever #Black Excellence Jefferson Pierce, aka Black Lightning, who in my head, let's be serious, deep cut, it was also Black Vulcan. But go ahead.
Right. Yeah, and the reverse too, right? They're both whatever. I think Black Lightning came first, and then there was like trademark issues. Anyway, I actually didn't watch. I watched some of season 3, and I think that the show's kind of like ending somewhat on its own terms. I think they've known it's not like a sudden cancellation, and it always seemed, at least with the first season, that they were going for like a Netflix kind of deal, like not a super forever running show like Smallville or Arrow, something more like a nice narrative, you know, contained within a few seasons. But you know, I'll see if it's getting a spin-off though, called Painkiller, for the Black Lightning fans out there. That's one of the characters, and for the casuals that obviously don't watch the show, it's like one of the characters on there. I think he's an original CW creation.
Oh,
yeah, he's pretty
cool.
He's pretty one of the cooler characters on the show.
Give us a dossier, powers, abilities, and such.
I think, okay, so the main baddie of the show is Tobias Whale, which I thought was a cool thing. Like, you know, bring down this like C-list DC comic books bad guy. And, you know, I don't know, he's involved with this like genetic experimentation. What's that shit from Marvel Comics? Roxxon type shit. And they're like,
or some shit like that.
They're experimenting on like, you know, people, yada yada. Anyway, they just
the usual standard mad scientist fare.
They universal soldier this one guy, and then he becomes the painkiller. Right. They wipe his brain. You know, Winter Soldier. You know, all this shit. Something. He's that kind of character.
So then he's getting his own show.
Yeah, it's gonna be called Painkiller. It's pretty badass.
And that's gonna be on CW. That sounds dark as fuck.
Yeah.
HBO, what's up?
Yeah, we're
pick it up. No, and I honestly, I haven't seen all the seasons for Black Lightning, but I saw season 1 and I think I started watching season 2 and then I stopped. Just nothing against Black Lightning, just like there's too much on TV, you know, shit to watch. But I liked it. I liked the show a lot, actually. And I thought it was one of the best CW shows. And so I was bummed to see it kind of end. I'm glad to hear that hopefully it is in their own terms, you know, that it's not like, you know, sudden cancellation, because then it makes you wonder, right? You know, they're canceling a female-led show, Supergirl, right? They're canceling a black-led show, you know, with a black cast. Like, I don't know what's going on here, man. Shit. But hopefully it's nothing like that. And you know, they want to do other stuff. But he was a dope. I love Black Lightning, like Jefferson Pierce. What's the actor's name? I don't remember.
And I believe that as soon as that question was asked, Rod's fingers engaged in some deep research, perhaps, or not. But we'll figure that out eventually. Yeah, but the dude who played Black Lightning, I enjoyed his acting a lot.
His name is Cress Williams.
Look at that.
And one thing I like about that show is that it's kind of like, it's a little bit different from your usual superhero show, because he's a family man, and his family is kind of involved. I mean, obviously, him being a superhero creates issues with him and his wife, whatever. But you know, it kind of becomes a little bit like the Incredibles at some point, except that his wife actually does manifest some powers.
God.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
No, but her powers are weird. Like they do a really cool arc with her in that she becomes like a junkie on this shit that enhances her intellect. It's pretty cool.
Oh whoa.
Oh wow, that sounds cool.
You gotta watch that.
Facts.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
And there was something on my mind that I was gonna bring up regarding the show. Oh yeah. So and deep cut real quick. So the dude who plays, I guess I want to say like the Alfred to his Batman, what's that guy's name on the show, Rod? The dude that owns the tailor shop.
I don't
know. Rod is currently looking that up, but anyway, he's a side character. That dude, I don't know the actor's name either. Good lord, but he is the second guy to play Raiden in the OG Mortal Kombat sequel, so people know.
Damn, that's a good deep cut, dude.
Yeah.
Shit.
And he's also known as the shitty Raiden.
Yeah,
because
that's James Remar. He was also in the Warriors.
Oh yeah, word. Ajax.
Yeah, I think he's Ajax.
Yeah.
He's the cool jerk one.
Yeah. Up until a certain point, you know, like when he tries, you know, like sexual assault in the park and shit. But you know.
Yeah, hence the jerk part.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. But yeah, he does play the second Raiden in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, just so people out there know.
That shit was a hunk of junk. That's one of the most disappointing movies.
Yeah.
But still better than the Joss Whedon's Justice League.
Whoa! Wait, we just had a breakthrough.
That movie is so trash. Like, I will watch Annihilation to laugh at it, right? But Justice League was so trash and disappointing and so divergent from the narrative that was established that I can't bear to watch that shit. I'd rather attend a lecture on like knitting or some shit like that. I hate that movie. And I'm glad that it's getting written out of existence.
Damn, but better than Mortal Kombat Annihilation? I mean,
worse.
We have worse.
I mean, in my opinion, just seeing Motaro on the screen for that movie was worth it. Like it was epic. It was epic seeing the giant centaur. But
yo,
yeah,
and I actually I don't think I come on, I had to have seen Mortal Kombat. I came out in 97. I was fucking what, 13 years old? How old were we, Rod?
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
about 13, 12,
yeah, right.
13.
I don't remember much about it. From like now, I want to
remember that movie very well. Very well.
But I just want to say, but for example, damn, you're saying it's worse than Justice League, right? You know,
he's lying.
I want to say and I know I also, because I want to talk about this. This is gonna be a cool idea. You know, you don't like Rotten Tomatoes, right? But like I say, like in Rotten Tomatoes, the average of reviews is 2% for Annihilation, 25% audience score. And I wonder what was the Justice League one in
probably the inverse.
Yeah, probably Justice League was a little bit higher on Rotten Tomatoes, I guess. Oh, yeah.
You never know.
So the critics gave it on average, the critics was a 40%, and audience score was 71%. So most of the audience, like a good chunk of the audience, right, like Justice League, whereas only 25% liked the other movie. So you're in the minority. I just want to say.
As with most things, yes.
Facts. But yeah, we encourage everybody to go and check out Mortal Kombat Annihilation. It's one of the greatest movies ever made.
Now you wildin'. Don't misinform the audience that way. The first one is a classic.
Very true.
Classic.
As far as video game movies, it's up there with the masterpiece that is the original Super Mario Brothers movie.
Wait, what?
Which is also a compost heap of cinema.
Yeah,
shut your mouth. Get out of here. That movie was great.
Shut the fuck up.
They had John Leguizamo. Come on now, man.
When was the last time you watched that movie?
It's been years.
And I remember watching, feeling as a little kid, feeling like disturbed by the movie. Like it just, I don't know, like the Koopa Troopas and Bowser like looked like I don't like this. Like I just, it's robbing, took something about my innocence away from playing Mario. Like no.
That movie was great. You guys are bugging.
Have we talked about this? Like, what's the best comic book? Video game movie adaptation?
No, we haven't.
No.
That's actually pretty interesting.
All right, we'll save that one. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
Fair enough. We'll put that on the docket. Moving on to epic movies that we should be discussing is actually WW84, also known as Wonder Woman 84. What's up, guys? Talk to me.
Also known as the shitty Wonder Woman movie.
I don't know. I'm on the fence.
All right, who's gonna go first?
I'll go first.
Yeah, Chaz, you're on the fence. Do it, bro.
I'll give it a 7, maybe a 7.5. Only because, and I've repeated this exact term to so many people. And
wait. Out of 100? No. Go ahead.
Damn, yo.
Sounds about right.
Shit. Yeah, come on. Stop hating women.
Damn.
So, I give it a 7.5. So essentially, and like I said, I've repeated this to a bunch of people. So those of you who have seen it, I hope you understand what I mean. I feel like they did too little with way too much. It was a big, like it was weird. It was like, it felt like a big story that they were telling, but it seemed like very small and contained in a way. And I felt like there was a lot of like frivolous shit in the movie. Like, it didn't have to be 2.5 hours. There was a ton of shit they could have cut out, like a bunch of minutes they could have removed, which would have added up, I'm sure, to about a whole 30 minutes off the movie. But there was also a lot of good things in it. The highway scene, in my opinion, was fucking amazing. They could have done some work on the effects here and there. Pedro Pascal, aka the Mandalorian, aka Maxwell Lord, aka whatever the fuck other shit he's done, was off the hook. I enjoyed his acting. I did not like the fact that, in my opinion, they downplayed Maxwell Lord as a character. They made him into some like shitty salesman when in the comic books, he's this very able, intelligent dude who's the head of Checkmate. He has like mind-bending powers, if I'm not mistaken. And it's like they downplayed him a bit too much. The scene at the beginning, in my opinion, I would watch a whole fucking movie about the island of Themyscira. Those sequences are stupid amazing. They're amazing. I just didn't need to see every single second of that sequence right at the beginning of the movie. I didn't need to see the little girl actor sliding down the hill. I didn't need to see that. And yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go because I could run. Go ahead.
Wait, but though, like after that, like review 7.5. You say 7.5, but like your review sounds more of a 5 and below, bro. Like
7.5 is pretty high. That's passing.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
like a B-.
No, because the things that I addressed, I really, really like.
You liked 2 scenes. You said you liked the highway scene and that the beginning, the Themyscira thing. That's all. And you liked Pascal's,
Yeah, throughout the whole movie, I enjoyed Pascal, and I also enjoyed Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman.
True.
You get what I'm saying? Like there are things that, aside from the 5, give it 2 points, maybe 2.5. And that point, one being Gal Gadot, then the other point being Pedro Pascal. But it's like, damn, Jenkins, you got so much. Like, damn.
We're rounding down though, right? We're rounding down. It's 7. You gave us 7. Yeah. That's your point for your review.
For the fans out there, just so you guys know, I got sweaty while I was ranting.
Nice. You are wearing a hoodie too. You wildin'. I also like you call her Gal Gadot. It's like French.
I mean, she's Israeli. That's how you say the name. Gal Gadot. It's not on some America shit. Gal Gadot.
No, it's Gal. Got it. All right, I'll go next.
Whoever says it like that, storm the Capitol.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Where do I begin? Okay. I kind of want to start. All right, I start taking from the top. All right, the opening sequence was possibly the best part of the whole movie. Okay, I don't even fucking know, man. All right, let's start with Maxwell Lord. We didn't even talk about Cheetah yet. Let's start with Maxwell Lord.
Oh, word! I skipped that too.
I mean, I thought it was kind of cool what they did with him, and at the end, you know, he kind of like wasn't really a villain, right? I don't know. His motivations were kind of genuine, and then he kind of got trapped when, for the spoiler alert, obviously, it's gonna be a spoilerific discussion.
Of course, it's
right. We're gonna add spoiler alert right about here.
Oh yeah, because that went in detail wise.
Yeah. So major. I hope everybody watches it. And you know what? It's kind of movie that there's nothing really to spoil. You know, like
you see what I mean? Like
what's her? God,
that's weird.
I can't even remember her name. Her real name.
Who?
Cheetah.
Kristen Wiig.
Yeah. No, I mean the character. But either way. Yeah. You have your, you know, Kristen Wiig plays this like socially awkward, you know, nerd kind of character that you've seen Jim Carrey master. You've seen people emulate it.
Jamie Foxx destroyed.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx. Also, there's like, you know, a little bit of Michelle Pfeiffer, but not as good.
Less hot. Pfeiffer.
Yes. Less hot, less effective, weaker movie, weaker film, weaker cast.
Oh, so and it's Barbara Minerva.
Barbara Minerva.
2 first names.
For the fans that actually read the comics and read like Greg Rucka's work in particular, there's a lot you can do with Cheetah as a character.
Word.
So the premise of the movie is that there's this special rock that grants wishes, right? And which is not too crazy. You know, I kind of wish they had, I don't know, maybe gone a little bit different with it, tied it maybe more to Themyscira or something. Make it pop out of some element of DC's history, or at least that film's past. So, you know, you get this magic rock, and that's why, you know, for the fans, that's why you see Steve Trevor out there. So apparently the magic rock allows Steve Trevor to come back. It allows Barbara Minerva to become more like Diana Prince, who she works. She's like her co-worker, but then she's, you know, the nerdy, awkward person that's looking at this really beautiful, confident, tall, you know, woman, powerful woman, and she wants to be like her. So she wishes that she could be like her, and she actually starts to siphon her powers away. And then, you know, you have the Maxwell Lord, who somehow knows of, you know, the rock's powers and wants to take it and then absorb it and become one with it. Whatever, kind of trippy, kind of cool. I don't know. And it also is a cool way to give a normal guy powers, I guess, to have him, you know, self-manifest like with it. So he becomes the wish giver. I think it's like an old school horror movie like that.
Wishmaster.
So, yeah, the Wishmaster, exactly.
Not wish giver. He becomes the guy's just generous.
Yeah, and Maxwell Lord is not generous because, like, you know, he can take something from you after you've made a wish on him.
Yo, the wish giver is such a good guy.
Like, yeah, let him be the wish giver, man.
Just give wishes.
Guy wish giver.
But yeah, okay, so that's kind of like the premise of the movie, and then somehow, you know, Barbara Minerva wants to be like Diana, so she becomes a feline kind of character. Again, tie that to Themyscira, tie it to the lore. It's been woven in the comic books. It's already there. But I guess Patty Jenkins wanted to do her own thing, and much power to her, because part 1 was good. This one was not as good. And whatever the fight sequence with Cheetah herself, like, okay, I never saw Avatar, but I've seen like the commercials and shit. And I know that they can make feline people look pretty goddamn realistic. And I didn't think Barbara Minerva, even in the at night, right? Because they fought at night and it was kind of cloudy and all this bullshit. Like you could barely see a thing. Anyway, that was kind of weak too. It was cool as a fan to see this going down. And also in the beginning of my review, I know I'm going in here, but in the beginning I talked about how maybe the opening sequence was the best part. Actually, I take that back. The best part was weaving in Linda Carter into the narrative and having her, you know, become like a vehicle for then after, you know, Diana gets all her powers taken away. She gets this armor from this legendary Themysciran who's been walking the earth, you know, for many, many years. Whatever. That was cool.
But it kind of created a plot hole in itself, because if that's canon within the story of the movie, it's like, where the fuck was that ancient Amazon the entire time?
Doing epic shit, bro. All right, and lastly, I'll end with 2 more points. All right, okay, second to last. a major shout out to Patty Jenkins, because after Diana talks down a power thirsty, fucking damn near psychotic Maxwell Lord, right? He just okay again. Jim Carrey, remember that power he had in like Batman Forever, where he's just like getting everybody's knowledge. And he's whatever getting all
Yo,
freaky.
it's the same shit. You're right.
Yeah, same sequence, except
Minus crappy CGI.
Patty Jenkins wanted to mix it up, and she throws a Beautiful Lie, which is the song to the opening sequence of Batman versus Superman.
Not the 30 Seconds to Mars one.
Not the 30 Seconds to Mars one, which is also a good band and a good song. She put that song in there, and to me, that shit made Diana's speech about being yourself and whatever the fuck she's talking about that much more powerful.
She was deep.
Yes. And last but not least, that there's a final sequence with, so I talked about how Steve Trevor came back. He comes back by inhabiting some dude's body. So throughout the movie, Diana's just fucking some lucky, I was gonna say some lucky dude, but no, because he's gonna have no recollection of this amazing sex that he had with an Amazonian. It's some random dude's body, and then he meets Diane at the end in like this kind of like a Macy's commercial sequence with like snow and children playing.
Word.
And I'm like, yo, this sequence was shot like 2 weeks ago. They're like, yo, it's coming out on Christmas. We're releasing this on Christmas. Yo, quick guys, come on and shoot this stupid sequence that actually adds nothing to the story. Because for a moment there, you kind of think that maybe after having sex with him, Diana would consider maybe seeing him again or starting something, moving on from Steve Trevor, who she's been pining for, no pun intended, for like 70 years or so.
Yeah. Damn.
65 years.
Word. How much of a letdown was that scene where the guy just walks away, right? I'm like, yo, bro, get her number, because like they were obviously like a little bit flirting, like there's a little bit of something there, and we know that Wonder Woman's seen your junk, man. Like she's fucked the shit out of you, man.
Yeah, word.
Like, get her number, bro. Like and like she just that's like, oh, okay. Like stupid Macy's commercial.
Yeah. And they should have acknowledged, because in this movie, Steve Trevor has like 4 fist fights, and which were well choreographed, by the way. Like because as Diana's like whooping like 5 guys' asses, he's fighting one dude, like a one-on-one versus one dude. And anyway, this guy must have woke up like the next day, all beat up, bro, all beat up.
And just on a slightly bigger picture, one thing that kind of got me tied about the movie was that, come on, like. I'm just going to say it straightforward because it's true. There's no way around it. He got away with it. Like, he got away with it.
Maxwell Lord.
Yeah, Maxwell Lord got away with it. Like, he didn't get arrested. He never got hit by Wonder Woman, not even once. Like, the guy just ran off, hugged his kid, and got away with it.
Word.
What? I didn't even notice that until right now. You said it. I'm like, what? What the fuck? You're right.
He got away with it. Like, Jenkins, what the fuck? Come on, lady. Like, how, like, I don't want to hear that bullshit. Like, oh, it's implied they caught him. Fuck out of here. That doesn't make any sense.
Fuck out of there. Exactly. I want to see that shit. Come on. The motherfucker was on fucking TV broadcasting to the world, like arrest this motherfucker. Like, people didn't forget what happened afterwards, and if they did, they should have told us that happens when they reverse the wish. But no, the world went to chaos. Come on now. Like, no, stupid.
I wouldn't even have had an issue with if they did that old school shit where like the movie fades to black and then they put that little paragraph in the middle that says promptly after he hugged his son, Maxwell was arrested. Like, you know what I mean? But if you think about it, all right, so like the nukes disappeared, but when he was running, you could see in the back of the highway there was still accidents and property damage. He got away with that shit.
Yo, that stone was like Infinity Gauntlet level power. If you think about it, it made nuclear arms manifest out of thin air. Like, the fuck?
Word. Well, yeah, and I mean the way she did it. The way she said it. It was made by the craftsmen of the gods. And she's tied into Greek mythology, so that shit was created by Hephaestus, bro. Like, he could make some shit like the Infinity Gauntlet. He's one of those like cosmos level blacksmiths and shit.
Word.
All right, but Rod, what's your rating?
Out of 10, I'll give it a 6. I'll give
Really?
part one probably like a 7.
Oh, really? 7
and
so
also,
low?
yes. Oh, and last but not least, I gotta talk about this. I have to, gentlemen. Every year, I watch the Ultimate Edition. All right, so if you watch
VS.
the fight, between the Trinity versus Doomsday, whatever, it was shoehorned in, blah blah blah. We know the story. It was still pretty fucking awesome, that whole sequence. Diana is fierce, brutal, fast, strong, like just amazing in that whole sequence, right? She's basically holding it down. Like while Superman is like, doing all this other shit, and he does his thing too, but Diana saves the day essentially.
Yeah, word.
In 84, she's so like posed, so stiff. I don't know, like she's like the cover of a magazine, glamour, beautiful all the time, perfect posing, perfect lighting. Whereas in BVS, it was just like much more what I would expect from a Wonder Woman. Because at first I went into 84 like, I guess I'll watch another Wonder Woman flick, even though part one wasn't all that. I didn't think that she really embodied what I think Diana Prince should be on the live action screen. All those doubts were taken away in that fucking fight sequence with Doomsday. And then again, they're just kind of
She got nerfed.
up. They're softening it up, man. Don't like it. It was a very pretty movie.
So essentially, what you're saying is that
even I don't know.
So what you're saying is like that mall scene. She should have gutted those men, is what you're saying.
Yeah. In front of the kids.
Yeah, I was about to say that, like blood splats, like the little black girl and shit, like in the face. Good Lord.
Damn.
The only thing I want to understand right now in terms of the rating system that we're on, all right, because so Rod, you gave Wonder Woman 84 a 6. You gave the first movie a 7. So you think that it only differed by 1 point, so 1 point different. That's how much more of a difference it is, Because Chess, you gave it a 7.5.
Yeah.
What did you give the first movie?
Ooh, I'd say 8. Honestly, it would have kicked it up had Ares won, not had the mustache as a god. That was weird. It's like that dude who's playing like the Ares. He shouldn't have been Ares in the flashback. He looks like mad feeble and shit. You know what I mean? Like he didn't look godly. That kind of fucked it up for me. I'm a big fan of Greek mythology, and the disrespect to Ares brought the movie down for me. But it's still like the shock value and it being the first Wonder Woman movie and it being so epic. You know what I mean? Like it was epic. Like I give it an 8. Could have been better if they had not fucked up Ares that way.
All right. Okay. But Rod, so yes, but so you the 1 point difference, you still agree that's
okay. I will it change it if I give part 1 a 7.5 and I'll give part 2 a 6?
Yeah.
And remember, I need an actual rubric. Like this is just off the cuff shit. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
But exactly. No, I just want you to go with your gut because I'm just trying to think about it. Like, because I'm more with Ches, where like Wonder Woman 1 was much better than Wonder Woman 4, but not more than 1 point of a difference. Like I don't know, but like,
all right, go for it. Dive.
For me, all right. So, for example, giving that kind of like framework, right? For me, for the first Wonder Woman movie, I'd also give it an 8. I do think there's a lot of things I didn't like about it, but there was way more things that I did like about it, and I enjoyed it overall. I walked out of the theater being like, all right, that was cool, that was fun, I liked it. Fucking Wonder Woman 84 was a piece of trash, terrible. I didn't like the movie. I would give it probably a 3, probably. It was shit. It was really, really bad. It had some good moments for sure, but like as a movie entirely, it was so bad. And you guys, like I think like you guys mentioned a lot of the things that made it bad, right? And like I feel like I liked the idea of it. I think it was a good story idea about like, right, like there's the stone thing that allows you to grant wishes, and the whole idea of like the consequences to like getting what you want, just wishing it, and that there's consequences to it, and like that's dope, and like you said, like if it was done well, the speech that Wonder Woman gave at the end would have been kind of more meaningful. but it felt more like stupid. It kind of just things fucking happened super fucking fast, and like without like I felt no real consequence or no real rhyme or reason. Like, because even, for example, you guys pointed out with Maxwell Lord, like, why was he looking for the stone to begin with, right? Like, how did he know this? Like, exactly, like, I think, was it Rod that said it, right? Like, is he a villain? Is he not? Because it seemed like he wasn't, and then he became one because of the stone. But it's confusing, right? But he's looking for the stone to begin with, right? And
well, he was a villain, though, because, like, he was robbing people's money and shit, like.
Right, exactly.
I don't. I think he was just a failed businessman. I don't think he necessarily was a crook.
You know what? That's right. Exactly. That's not 100% clear, right? Like that's they make it. They leave it ambiguous enough where like maybe he really did think he was gonna be able to do the business deals that he wanted, and then they didn't plan out, and then instead of coming, telling the truth to his investors, he's like fucking figuring shit out, right? Out of desperation, versus somebody conning them from the beginning, right? Like it's a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
And like in the whole thing, for example, I hated that he had a kid, because the kid was only used for him to become for Wonder Woman to defeat him. He had to have, that was the whole purpose of him having a kid. No, because seriously, there was like they tried to make it like interesting, like, oh, like he's like, he has a kid and, he's divorced and, he had that one scene where he like said like, oh, it's the weekend again, I have to see the kid again. And the kid walked away. He's like, we're supposed to feel bad. Like,
get the kid a race car.
Yeah. Like, it's like, we don't know. And like, those little scenes with him and the kid were just to make him like human. But I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't know how he is as a father. I'm like, I'm not going to trust this little scene. And then, but it all made sense, because at the end, it's like, Wonder Woman's all like, think about your child, and then he's like, oh my God, you're right. I'm going to stop the wishes and return everything. Bye. And then add what Jess said. Nothing.
Get away with it.
It gets away with it. It's dumb. It's dumb as fuck.
Just to add one tidbit too, my favorite part that made me lol. So he has to go to a satellite, apparently, to touch everyone, because you need to touch him to make the wish. So he goes to the satellite to do this huge broadcast using this like fucking covert government technology. Yeah. And then like, okay, so at the end, at the big climax, he relinquishes everything, right? Everything kind of goes back, right? But someone still flies him in a helicopter from the satellite back to Earth, right to the point, right to the spot where his son is on Earth. Yo,
government tech, bro. Jesus.
Yo, that was a nice pilot. He's like, nah, I see you just tried to take over all of reality, but I'm gonna take you back home, man. Not just that. I'm gonna find your son.
Yo, exactly. No, I remember seeing. I'm like, wait, how did that just happen? How did he get there? And exactly, he got on a helicopter, and the exactly nice guy pilot, right? He was like, all right, you know what? I was under your control right now, man. But I see what you just did right now, and man, fuck, man, I have a son too, so. I'm gonna take you to your son, because I don't know where he is right now. I'm gonna go with my son after this, but like, there's like, come on, all of that is dumb as fuck. It's stupid. I don't like it. And then you add everything else you guys said. The effects were shit too. Like, what the fuck? Cheetah did not look great.
Yeah, she didn't.
The fight scene with Cheetah was stupid. Like,
it was so dark. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
People talk about Snyder. Like, what about Jenkins?
Exactly. And like, I don't think Wonder Woman landed a single punch on fucking Cheetah. She was all defense the whole fucking time until she like chose to electrocute her. Like, hope she survives. Like what?
And on top of that, so like out of nowhere, Cheetah has the power, just out of sheer determination, to rip apart armor that was created by the smelting of all the Amazonians' armor bound together. She's that strong.
Exactly. And that's the other point that I didn't like. The whole armor shit. Like, what was the point of the armor was just toys. For her. Exactly. The toys, and for her like to look cool in it, but it served no purpose. Like, it was not important. Exactly. She just said Cheetah fucking tore it apart. And so it's like, and because also what I hated was at the end when she goes to get the armor, like after everything that's happening, like, one, why do you think you need the armor against Maxwell Lord? And like, and then you're like, well, before he destroys the world, let me just go get my armor and then go fucking fight. Like, it's dumb as fuck. I'm like, woman, fucking Maxwell Lord is like destroying the world. Go fight his ass right now. And he's like, I'm okay. And like having these moments with Chris Pine about like, you gotta let go. I gotta relinquish my wish, which is like, that wasn't that bad. But, you know, like you guys all said exactly too, like, you know, she was fucking this guy without his consent the whole time, you know. It's like it's a little bit
probably unprotected, like,
oh Lord,
most likely.
most likely. And then when you think about it, right, it's like, that's a little weird. Also with adding the whole thing, like Rod said, that guy is gonna be sore as
Yo, he got
fuck.
his ass kicked when the insurance bill comes for all those molars that got knocked out, fucking concussions. Yeah, but one more point that, you know, we've been shitting on Max Lord for the most part. I did like a little tidbit that Patty Jenkins stuck in there about
the self-hatred.
About him being like Hispanic or whatever, a Latino, and then he makes himself look like a white man and speak like a white man in order to succeed. Like, I thought that was, I mean, it was subtle, which is good. You know, it's not in your face, social justice, whatever. But I thought that was a cool concept because, you know, you're looking at him in the early trailers, like, why this guy, Pedro Pascal, looks so like Donald Trump-ish, right?
Right.
And then it's a reason behind it. So.
And then in the flashbacks, he looks like his son, like a super Hispanic little kid.
Wasn't his son Asian?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Was he?
Yeah, his son. Oh, yeah. That son was
or
like
maybe
Asian.
just South American.
Yeah. No, he looked Asian, like Asian, and but maybe mixed. Like he looked a little brown too, I guess. But no, he looked Asian for sure. Nah, but for example, Rob, what you said, like, not fuck the social justice shit. That's honestly, that's a much more interesting story. I would have loved to seen him struggle with that shit and like go to be like, nah, fuck this, I'm gonna do this, and like to become successful, and that's way more interesting than what we saw because we're just left to assume it because like those things are subtle. It's like, I guess, like in the for example, for you took it that way, that, you know, that it's because, you know, he wants to look more white to be successful. I'm sure there's other people who didn't even notice that, you know, or who are not even think, or probably they're like, yeah, good, that's what you look like to be successful, that's what it has to be. And it's like, it's stupid, Patty Jenkins. Like, if you're going to do it right. Fucking meet it face on directly rather than just like, oh, look at me, what I'm doing. I'm being woke, adding this little, no, shut up. It's all a dumb movie with some cool scenes like the highway scene. That was dope. That was fun.
To me, the best.
It wasn't. Yeah.
I think including the invisible jet was like all the fan service was good. Basically, the fan service, like the beginning Amazon revisiting it, the invisible jet, Linda Carter, and A Beautiful Lie from Hans Zimmer, score for Batman vs Superman.
I want to ask the fans out there listening to right now, if you've seen Wonder Woman 84 and you're a fan of the, well, even if you're not a fan, like if you've seen Wonder Woman 84, did you pick that up? That because I first of all was blown away. Like, you know, for some people who we did a New Year's Eve post, you know, and it was like us saying, you know, we love you and blah blah.
The truth.
But we had the Beautiful Lie thing in the whatchamacallit in the background, which I'm like. When I made the little video and I gave it to the guys, Rod's like, you should have Beautiful Light. It's gonna make it more epic. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. What song is this? What? And you're like, just like Wonder Woman 84. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I love that you have that much love for Snyder and you have even the fucking. It's in your head, dude. Like that. I'm legit curious if anybody else also noticed that like that.
And cool, they also reworked the Wonder Woman theme from BVS, the Hans Zimmer song that we've also talked about in other episodes, but they remade it to be more traditional from like an orchestra, you know, kind of arrangement. I thought that was cool too. That's during the truck scene, the highway scene.
And also one quick side note for the fans. If I'm not mistaken, please correct me on our post if we do for this episode. in the beginning sequence, the flags for all the Amazons that are in the race that Diana's participating in correspond with the colors of the Olympic rings because, you know, ancient Greece, Olympics, so on and so forth. Putting that out there for the fans.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
However, I could be completely wrong. So.
And I also want to mention that, you know, based on this movie was actually successful from the reports, you know, I've seen online or whatever, like, you know, they signed on Patty Jenkins and Gull for part 3, which we saw coming. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It made decent money worldwide. And apparently they got a good amount of HBO Max subscription. So even though it was kind of shitty and it's divisive, whatever, you know, it was successful. At least that's what it seems like right now.
I mean, I don't think it's divisive. I mean,
yeah, I don't think so.
Everybody's like, it could have been better.
I'm sure there's fans.
Yeah, I
out
think
there, no?
They're like, this is the best movie ever.
No, I think most people didn't like it. Most, at least what I've seen on my Instagram, you know, like in the accounts that I'll follow, you know, it's.
But
like,
by Rod's logic, there's some people out there. If you ask them, what's your favorite movie? Their answer is Wonder Woman.
I want to have a conversation with that guy.
Yo, word, exactly. If you are a listener and you thought that Wonder Woman 84 was the best movie ever, email us, legiononzoom@gmail.com. We want you on the show as a guest.
We're going to feature you, fan of the week.
Yeah, yes. That way you can tell us why it's the greatest movie ever made. And that better be your honest opinion. So we're going on the honor system here. We're interested in how your mind works.
Also, this movie broke a trend of sequels almost always being better than the first. Almost always. This one was more like a part 3 in its like quality.
Damn, that's crazy. Like, if you think about it though, like as per the data, I wonder when that made a turnaround. Like, because remember, didn't it used to be like at some point that like the sequels weren't as good as the first, like back in the day? Or does that myth stand for like when it gets to part 3?
I think like for like generally like sequels, like for like, you know, like masterpieces like Godfather and Rocky and things like that. But I think for superhero movies, usually once you get the origin out of the way, because I think if you quiz a kid in Mongolia right now, what's Superman's origin? Like everybody knows. We don't got to see that shit again. So then once you get that shit out of the way, you get to tell like a better story. I don't know.
But yeah, what we don't need to see is Batman's origin again. God, how many times do like Thomas and Martha Wayne have to die? Jesus.
Every time.
like damn, like I understand why he's so dark in every single reality except for one, which we all know what that one is. Rod made a recent post about that one recently on the page. Go check it out, where Martha Wayne is the Joker. Awesome story, timeline, or what have you. Mm-hmm. But in every single reality, they die. It's like, you know what? I get it, Bats. Damn, break some bones and shit. And there was a massive occurrence actually that happened in the DC universe. I actually wanted to ask our resident doc in the house about that, just because it's such an epic event. The death metal sequence is over, and that must mean that DC is done throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. Like, good Lord, man, that was a wild, what was it, for like the past year, 2 years? Like,
oh my God, it's actually... Yeah, it builds off of a lot of events, actually, because it's like the whole story. Dark Knight's death metal, I think, was a year basically ongoing, but like it built off of Snyder, because this is Scott Snyder that wrote it, and who wrote the original Dark Knight's metal event, which was pretty cool, which is how he ended basically his Batman run, you know, because he was very well known for doing an epic Batman run. It was awesome. Introduced Court of Owls, like so much good shit was there. And then they did Dark Knight's Metal. And then he went on to write Justice League, where he kind of started to build off of what was happening, what happened in that story, and added so much fucking crazy cosmic stuff there that was really confusing, and it was hard to follow. And then eventually it culminates with Dark Knight's Death Metal event, which was... It was massive. It was too massive. It was too huge because it was the main book. And then in addition to the main book, there were like side books, but like in one shots, but that you had to read because they were part of the main story. And it was just, it was a lot. It was a lot. And I think because Rod, you only read the first event, right? And you started reading Justice League.
Yeah, I read obviously his whole Batman run.
Right.
And like for the lay fans, we're talking about comic books right now. I noticed that we haven't like made the switch of medium. But yeah, I read his whole run on DC. That was a New 52. He took up from there and kept going with Batman, Dark Knight's Metal, and then a little bit of the Justice League, which I'm thinking about going back to actually.
Yeah, from what I saw, in my opinion, I didn't delve too deep into death metal, but I would legit just embrace the art because, good lord, according to Miguel, we had this discussion in between ourselves before we started recording again. He didn't think that the event was worth the art. In my opinion, it was, because the artist got to go insane with this. We got so many frivolous versions of Batman that we never thought we would see ever published. You know what I mean? Like, it was pretty awesome stuff. We got some different versions of all our characters. We got a very metal Jay Garrick, which I'm in love with. Yeah, it's like art-wise, it was worth it for me.
Yeah, no, because like before I give like the quick background on what the event was, it's like, so because this is Scott Snyder's baby, right? He's been working this idea for a long time, and Scott Snyder's main team member, the guy he works with is Greg Capullo, who does great art. He was the main artist on the Batman book. He was a really good artist, and he did the first metal event, which is awesome. And then he did the death metal. I'm saying the art wasn't that good because I noticed, I don't think it was Greg Capullo at his best. It was kind of a little sloppy sometimes. And actually, I remember reading in an interview where Greg Capullo didn't want to do it. At first, when Scott Snyder apparently approached him, telling him, "Look, I got this idea. I want you to be the artist. I want you to draw this." Greg Capullo was like, we're done. Like, he's like, we did the metal. I don't have it in me to draw all these Justice League members, all these people. But then Scott Snyder like sold the idea to him, and then he was like, "All right, I'll do it." I feel Greg Capullo was like all of us that read it. Halfway through it, he's like, "What the fuck is this shit? Like, I'm just fucking gonna draw whatever just to be done with it."
What's happening?
Yeah, no.
All right, so what's your rating? So we're talking about so are you gonna rate the mini series or just the event as a whole?
Well, the event as a whole, because that's like that's the miniseries, I guess. Like it's the whole main narrative that took like about a year. The Dark Knight's death metal thing, and so just to give people a quick idea, what happens is that before in other stories we find out that there's an actual dark multiverse. So it's like basically all the nightmares that people may have had, and there's a multiverse about that, but it dies. All the planets die immediately from the multiverse. That leads to something about like the walls that separate the universe from the rest of the other universe in the main one breaks and brings out this cosmic goddess that created the universe, back to life, sort of, which is Lex Luthor wants to bring her back to life to get the powers to create the universe in his own image, on base because of Doom, this is all the Justice League story, which was bananas. And then we have this, because the Batman who laughs is from the dark multiverse, right? It's this Batman, like Rod said, that, he killed the Joker and becomes the Joker because of it. And it's like this mixed Batman Joker one. And so he's the most, it's like the worst of both worlds, right? And so something happens that then he takes on the power of this goddess called Perpetua instead of Lex Luthor. And then that's kind of where the Dark Knight's death metal story starts. Because then it's Batman who laughs trying to destroy the multiverse, to create it in his own image, and to kill the gods, or like basically to kill the people who create the multiverses. It's like,
yo, you're selling me right now. Yeah, I want to read this. I'm waiting for it to drop on the app actually, so I can read it for free.
And look, no, but
you lost me a little while ago. Not gonna front.
No, but look, I said, actually, I think the idea is cool. Like when you
the execution,
the execution just was like very messy and super abstract at times, and it was just like it was kind of fun sometimes. Yeah, it was way better than Wonder Woman 84. No doubt about that. But It wasn't. It was just I don't know. But the thing is, we're talking about it because it finally ended. It just ended like a week ago.
You sound relieved.
Yeah, no, and because it finally ended, and it ended. Because like big things happened. Like the universe ended. And like apparently Batman died off screen. Like off panel. You find out in a very climactic way that like I've been dead all this time, man, because it's Batman. Because Batman then is basically Necron from the Green Lantern world, that he has the
Black Lantern
ring.
Yeah, a Black Lantern ring, and he's like wielding the dead, and he has like this very metal look to him, which is cool. But it's like also just like it's just happening too fast, and you're dealing with so many Batmen from different universes that are all bad and evil, and like they're fighting a bat dinosaur, and they're fighting like Gotham City is Batman, and he becomes like a transformer and starts to fight them.
Yo, shut up!
What?
I need to read this now. Yo, DC takes my money.
That just sounds like you're on an acid trip.
Yo,
and it's because
they gotta animate that shit.
Word. That'd be a cool animated feature series.
Yeah, because
take note.
And it's mainly basically Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman who are involved in the story. Wonder Woman is actually the lead in this story, and it's exactly like I'm saying. It sounds cool, but once you're reading it, it's like a little bit like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Like, all right,
yeah, and then you have this ultimate Batman who laughs, who's like a god destroying the universe, and then Wonder Woman becomes like this.
Wait. God damn, I don't know if I want to hear the ending. Are you gonna spoil it?
All right. I won't say the ending. I won't say exactly how the ending happens, but
does she get Linda Carter's armor?
No, come on, they're better than.
That'll be lit.
Why?
Because reasons.
It's like the suit's made out of metal, so
hey, yeah. Yo, they gotta hire you right now.
Yeah, but it ends cool. I don't mean like the story itself, like what it sets up. Like that's cool. And like I'm excited to read what happens, how they deal, because the multiverses really shifted in a very sort of significant way. And it actually leads because so then Scott Snyder finished his Justice League run and with all this event, and now Brian Michael Bendis, we talked about a lot before. He's gonna do the Justice League book. Nice. And they've shown us already before who's on the team. And there's a mix of actually villains and heroes on it. Like apparently Black Adam's on it. And I don't remember some other ones. But it's like it's a mix, and this story kind of leads to like, oh, this is gonna be the new Justice League for now. And that's kind of cool, like, and that stuff. But for me, it was all like, you had to do all this to get to that. I'm like, isn't there a shortcut? Isn't there a faster way to have gotten to this?
Took the scenic route, did you?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so what's the rating? Drop the rating on the fans.
How many Miguels you gonna give it?
Out of 10 Miguels?
I remember you could split a Miguel in half.
Yeah, ooh. Damn.
Thanks.
I gotta give this event. All right, let's. I need a frame of reference though. What's the?
All right, while you think about that rating, since we're gonna go a little long on this episode because this makes me want to review a book that I just finished very recently, which is Doomsday Clock, which is sort of a spiritual sequel to Watchmen, right? Arguably the greatest graphic novel of all time. It's like fucking New York Times bestseller list, all this. If you want to be a uppity comic book guy, tell people that you love Watchmen, right? But anyway, it's a great story. It's stood the test of time. We went into detail about the HBO show that came out last year, how good it was, and how it built the lore in a good way. It's been a bit trickier to do that in comic book form. I haven't read many of the offshoots of the Watchmen comic book because Watchmen initially released by Vertigo, if I'm not mistaken, but then under the umbrella of DC Comics. So this story, Doomsday Clock, sort of like combines Watchmen with your standard DC universe fare, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, right? So in this universe, we learn, not in this universe, in this storyline, because this is DC proper comic book universe. In this storyline, we learn that the events of the New 52, this manipulation of reality that, you know, spawned this brand new, fresh, all new fucking new reader friendly iteration of DC Universe. It had the hand of Dr. Manhattan on it. And at the end of the Watchmen book by Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons, you see that like Dr. Manhattan just kind of like, you know, he disappears in a way to whatever, meditate on a mountain or whatever the fuck on Mars or the moon. So, you know, in this storyline, Jeff Johns tries to continue. And, you know, if anybody's going to do the job, Jeff Johns is going to do it. One issue that I had with this storyline was that I felt like Jeff Johns tried to emulate Alan Moore instead of being Jeff Johns. And we all know how fucking amazing he is when it comes to writing comic book stories. But to really make it connect, to not just make it Watchmen characters inside of a DC book, I guess he wanted to make it read and feel like the Alan Moore classic. And I guess that kind of, you know, because you get a lot of these moments where Dr. Manhattan's pondering himself through time. It's 19.
Damn, pondering himself
He's like,
through time.
Yes, he's like, okay, it's 1946. You know, my balls itch. It's 2025. Whatever.
My balls also itch.
It still happens. Anyway, so and you get the big showdown, the ultimate fucking playground showdown between Dr. Manhattan and Superman. And we all know Dr. Manhattan is like the uber god.
Like almost a god with a capital G, like borderline.
Yeah, and he kind of is that in a way to the DC universe because he manipulated shit to the point that we got this huge, you know, reboot, whatever. Yeah. So it boils down to this final confrontation between Dr. Manhattan and Superman, right? It begins with Dr. Manhattan perceiving Superman about to kill him, an enraged Superman charging at Dr. Manhattan. And then, you know, Dr. Manhattan, like I mentioned before, he lives like throughout time. So he exists at all points at all times. But he has no vision of anything after the moment that Superman charges at him, which creates a good mystery for the fans. I'm like, okay, what's the fuck? He's like, either I end or everything ends. Word. In order for, you know, the fact that he can't see the future. And then of course you get Ozymandias back. Jeff Johns finds an interesting way to bring back the comedian, Rorschach, and some new characters, which I really enjoyed. I forget their name.
Yeah,
they're like a pair of like, it's a mime and like a Harley Quinn-esque kind of chick too, like the marionette or something like that.
Yeah, marionette. Yeah.
Yep. And so, you know, just like blanking on his name, Damon Lindelof introduced new characters into the HBO show. I feel like Jeff Johns achieved the same, because usually it's like a sacred ground, you know, Watchmen by Alan Moore, don't touch it, it's beautiful as the way it is. But yeah, Jeff Johns, he touches it, and I think it worked out for the best. Just like he killed it last year. Our unanimous best comic book was, you know, Three Jokers by him. So I'll give this book, I'll give it an 8. I don't go higher because of delays, but you can't rush art.
Facts.
And if you don't read it like in 1 or 2 sittings, it can get quite convoluted.
Hell yeah.
So that's what I'll end with that.
Facts. I actually been meaning to read The Button. Now that I'm pretty sure it's going to be like all together, like at some point, probably on sale on comics, I will definitely be consuming that little project. And now for our fans, even though Rod described such an amazing thing, you can go to bed, rest assured that like Gravity, Alan Moore probably hated it.
Word, he wiped his ass with it.
Yeah.
and with that being said, leaving you with a sense of assurance that some things in the universe do not change, regardless of events. We leave you with the beginning of season 2, folks. We'll check you out on the next episode. As always and forever, we are the Legion. This is Trez.
Wait. We're wrapping up already? Wait. No comments to like Rod's Doomsday Clock review?
I know rating from Miguel. Also,
I didn't get a rating, bro.
I feel like when everybody was like hoarding toilet paper and shit when the pandemic started, Almore was hoarding Doomsday Clock #1s to
Yeah.
wipe his ass all quarantine long.
He made sure to go buy all the Doomsday Clocks just to use it. Yeah.
It sold well because of him.
All right, so before we like wrap up as enthusiastically as you did, Chess, sorry, but I'm like, I agree with Rod. I'll give an 8 to Doomsday Clock actually too. I liked it. It was, but for example, I feel I would have liked if they could have combined like the ending of Dark Knight's Death Metal with Doomsday Clock, because the ending of Doomsday Clock was a little bit vague, right? You're like, you don't know, wait, what happened? Like, what's the consequences? And I feel like some elements of Dark Knight's Death Metal would have been added to Doomsday Clock and would have been good because, but if you're thinking that Doomsday Clock was convoluted and kind of hard to follow sometimes, it compares nothing to Death Metal. Like Death Metal was out there, was a whole other thing. And yeah, so I'll give Doomsday Clock an 8. And because of that, Death Metal, I'll give it a 5.
Yikes.
Yeah, like it was like a 5 because I like Scott Snyder. I like Greg Capullo. They had moments. The art wasn't terrible, of course, but it was hard to like. I read it just because, like, yo, bro, I'm invested in this. I gotta fucking see how it ends. Like, but I didn't want to read it. I wasn't craving it. Doomsday Clock, on the other hand, yeah, like. Fucking, it took months for the next issue, but I'm like, nah, man, I gotta read it. I gotta see the art. I gotta see what's happening. And then when I'm reading, I'm like, wait, what happened the last issue? Like, let me read it again. And oh, okay, I think I understand, but I'm doing it because I want to.
Right.
Yeah. With Death Metal was more like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, I don't even need to understand it. Let me just keep going. Okay, it ends. Great. Thanks. Bye. That's it. All right. That's it.
Everything I just said before. This is Chez.
Okay. No more last words. Anything else? Anybody else? Anything? No, we're good.
I'm good. We got comic book reviews. We got Wonder Woman review. We got a little bit of news. I'm satisfied.
All right. Well, exactly. Happy New Year to everybody. I'm glad to be back. Legion on Zoom is back. I'm glad to see all of you guys. Missed you guys. I'm happy to do another season of this shit. Fuck yeah. And I am Miguel.
Max.
And I'm Rod. We'll see you next week.
Deuces. Peace.
Legion on Zoom, starring and produced by Jose Perez, aka Chez, Rodney Martinez, and myself, Miguel Arce. Click subscribe on wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or shoot us an email at legiononzoom@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Legion on Zoom.